Hello, everyone. This is on Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Uh, Welcome to the Highlander Wrestling Show. I'm here to talk about a particular pro wrestler. I've met him years ago. Y'all know him as, well, everybody knows him mostly as Psycho Sid or Sid Justice. As a matter of fact, I had to get this guy out. Got this guy when I was real young. I've had it for years. I had it about the same time I met Sid. It was probably about 1995, 96, somewhere in that area. Um, Heck of a nice guy, huge man. Of course, when you're 13 years old, you keep looking up at him. Uh, but anyway, here's some cars I've gotten in here recently. Now, this one right here is one I just got in today. Very proud of. Wife got it for me for Valentine's Day. Well, this is one of them. This is the magnificent Don Morocco. His autograph picture, as you can see. On the back, it's got a nice little write-up about him and everything. Very cool. And here's one I got. I just got it because, my other ones hadn't came in yet, but I got this one just because of the late great Gorilla Monsoon when he was young. This is probably around the maybe 1959, maybe 62, 63, somewhere in that area. He's the one that's very agile for a big man. Very proud of that. Finally got me one. Uh, anyway, here's one. I don't know if I showed it on my last video or not. Uh, this is Pedro Morales, who was once World Wrestling Federation, or excuse me, WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He was former Intercontinental Champion and Tag Team Champion. Whoop, just threw it around. Went on. All right, and here's one of my favorite Asian wrestlers, Killer Conga. Now he was a very unique individual, which I'm very proud of. This card. This is, of course, the Wrestling All Star Series. Love it. And here's another one of my cards of another great World Heavyweight Champion, Vern Gagne. He's been champion for a long time. Him and Nick Bobwinkle had a lot of feuds and stuff like that, but Vern Gagne was a very good heavyweight champion in the AWA. Never went to WWF, but he was inducted into the WWF Hall of Fame, or excuse me, WWE Hall of Fame. Excuse me. But anyway, but yeah, that's some of the cards I have gotten here recently. But anyway, let me go on to Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious debuted in 1987 as Lord Humongous. The guy he was in the Sid wasn't in that movie, but it was on the Road Warriors. Y'all remember the guy that had the hockey mask and big muscular guy named Lord Humongous. That's where Sid then got the idea for that particular ring name. He was At that time he was called Lord Humongous, and then he went as Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, Psycho Sid. Um, I can't never pronounce his last name right. But anyway, yeah, he was like six. He's 6'9" and weighs 300, and we'll go ahead and say 320 pounds. Like I say, huge man when I met him. It was years ago. I want to say I might have been 13, but as I thought about it, I might have even been 12. I was very young. Of course, it scared me to death when he walked through the door because he bent his head down to get through the front door. Uh, but yeah, he very nice individual, very very likable human being. He just looked bad on TV. But yeah, he's had a lot of feuds with Ric Flair. He's had feuds with everybody knows him as El Gigante or Giant Gonzalez. He's had feuds with Hulk Hogan. He's had feuds with The Undertaker, Bret Hart, Vader. He's been on Monday Night Raw. He's been on WCW Monday Night Nitro, which I didn't watch because anyway, I don't need to go there. But he was in the USWA. I believe that's right. Now it was either USWA or Central Wrestling Alliance in 1987. I want to say it was the USWA because I used to get that on the big satellite dish what they used to have back in the 80s. I was like 3 or 4 years old. Him and Bruiser Brody and all that was just cool. Um, but yeah, Sid, he's held the World WWF World Heavyweight title. He's held the WCW World title. He's held the Central Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight title. He's held the USWA World title, and I believe, if I got everything straightened out in my head, he held the ECW heavyweight title. I'm not 100% sure. I remember he showed up in ECW, but like I said, I've seen so many wrestling. It's kind of sometimes I get the things right, but some things I get them mixed up. So just bear with me. But anyway, yeah, y'all can look it up on Sid Vicious, see if he's actually held the ECW World Title at one time. Um, I need to do that myself more often, look that stuff up. But anyway, but yeah, Sid Vicious, one of my favorite matches he had, and now I remember it was on, I think it was on Survivor Series, I believe. Anyway, when he was in the ring, the cameraman must have did something to annoy him. You see him push the camera guy off on the side of the on the where the post is at, the turnbuckles and everything. He pushed that camera guy back, or he kind of slapped at him a little bit, made him get back. But yeah, Sid, he was a very intimidating individual. And one time he showed up at Monday Night Raw, throwback Monday Night Raw, old school Monday Night Raw. He came out there and powerbombed Keith Slater, which everybody loves, including me. Love to see the big guy come back. Of course, Big Van Vader showed up there too. I think it was on the same night. Yeah, it was on the same night because Keith Slater caught it that night. But but yeah, Sid. I know he power bombed. I call him the master of the power bomb, in my opinion. Forget Razor Ramon, Diesel, and all them. He's the master of the power bomb. I remember he power bombed Diesel, and it messed up his elbow. I remember there was a big talk about that on WWF back then, and of course, like I said, Sid, he's a big man. Him and Diesel are about the same height. I mean, they might have been a little bit, but I mean, not enough to really sit there and say, oh yeah, Diesel's bigger than him or he's bigger than Diesel or whatever. I mean, they was right there at the same height. Um, but yeah, Sid, I remember at the WrestleMania 7, is he? Yeah, it's on WrestleMania 7. He was a special guest referee when Hogan and them was having their match up there and everything, and they was worried about if Sid took the bribe by the $1 million man. No, excuse me, by Sergeant Slaughter and all them, and he didn't. Of course, Sid or Sid Justice at the time is what he was called. Of course, he was humongous. He was sure enough big fella at that period of time. He was as big as Hogan. Actually, he was bigger than Hogan. Uh, But yeah, everybody thought that he had done got, bribed and everything, but he kept he kept it down the line. I mean, that's the other thing too about Sid. When he does what he wants. You don't tell him what to do. He does whatever he wants. If he likes you, he likes you. If he don't, he don't. In the ring, I mean, you didn't ask him too many questions, or you gonna get power bombed or choke slam. Um, but yeah, Sid. See, he had another match. It was him against Vader at WWF. And I can't remember exactly how that match ended. I was going to watch that. Can't remember exactly how that match ended. I think Sid actually wound up winning by disqualification, I want to say. But anyway, but yeah, y'all can look that up on WWE Network or YouTube or whatever. Sid Vicious versus Vader. But it was a good match. Well, the match between Sid Vicious and Shawn Michaels was a good match. Which, in my opinion, I was rooting for Sid Vicious because I wasn't a big Shawn Michaels fan. Even at that time, I mean, he was all right, Shawn Michaels, but I wasn't just what you call hardcore fan of him at that time. I liked Sid Justice, or Psycho Sid is what he was going by then. Um, but yeah, now he also been in the ring, and when he was in WCW, he got in the ring with a man named, he's called the Mountain Man now, or the Giant Hillbilly. He's part of he's down there on the coast wrestling on at the coast and everything, which is very heck of a nice fella. He's a big man. He was around 400 and something pounds, I want to say. Nearly 7 foot tall, right at 7 foot tall. He wrestles barefooted. Um, yeah, he's the one that you want to take your kids to see because he's the closest thing to a giant that you can go take your kids to see and it won't break the wallet to go and watch it live. Uh, and he knew he knew Sid Vicious, he knew One Man Gang and all them. So yeah, I mean, I've met him several times. I got several autographs by him. Even got a T-shirt, the Mountain Man T-shirt. Love the guy. He's very cool, very nice. I call him a close friend of mine. I need to see him one day down there on the coast if I can ever get down there. But anyway, him and Sid had a match where, he was a little bit taller than Sid Vicious, but Sid powerbombed him. That's what was so amazing to me, even at that period of time when I first seen it, because, oh, I used to watch him at the Smoky Mountain Wrestling and, oh, USWA and all that. I mean, he was part of the he was part of the old school wrestler. That's what I like about it. Of course, that's what I grew up watching. I mean, I've been watching pro wrestling since I was 3 years old. And that was around 1986, 1987. WrestleMania 3 was the first WrestleMania I got to watch on VHS. And then WrestleMania 4, so forth, so forth. Now we got over 30 something WrestleManias. So that tells you how long I've been watching. There wasn't that many WrestleManias. Excuse me. But anyway, another thing too cool about Sid Vicious that he was in a lot of movies, or he was in a few movies. He was in 1990. He showed up on Family Feud. I didn't know about that. I don't remember it. Oh, that was in 1990. He was in a movie with Kurt Angle called River of Darkness. It was Kurt Angle, Sid Vicious, and Diesel, or Kevin Nash, where you want to call him, Big Daddy Cool, all that corny stuff. Sid Vicious is still the man. Uh, and then he was in another movie called uh, something above, Evil from Above, I think is what it's called. I think Kurt Angle's in that movie too. Anyway, I'm gonna try to look that up again, and try to watch that. I like to just see it because I like seeing those B-rated movies and stuff. Uh, but yeah, he's been and he was in that movie. Everybody that was my age and older remember this movie when it came out. Ready to Rumble. Uh, it was good. Only thing was it was about WCW. That's the only complaint I had about the movie. It had a lot of memorable characters in it. It had Mean Gene Okerlund. It had Sid Vicious. It had Goldberg. It had the Macho Man, Randy Savage. It had Diamond Dallas Page. All them memorable guys. A lot of people y'all know. Which Sid Vicious was about the only one that I really cared about. Him and Mean Gene Okerlund. Of course, I mean that was WWF is my it will always be my absolute favorite mainstream wrestling besides Mid South and all that. ECW was my second one, in AWA, but anyway, but yeah, he was in that movie Ready to Rumble, which I've got it. Oh, it's a good movie for, you can watch it with your family and everything. And ain't nothing really that bad in it. How, it depends on the people and how you look at things. So if it's going to court if it's bad to you or not. But anyway, but yes, Sid Vicious. Oh, I know I remember seeing one video where it was him against King Kong Bundy. I couldn't believe it. I watched it where he tried to power bomb King Kong Bundy. This was back in the maybe 1988, maybe somewhere in that area. 1988, maybe 1989, somewhere in that facility. And I know I hadn't got to see it, but I've heard that he got in the ring with Big John Studd too. Not 100% sure, but I heard that. But I'm still trying to find that particular match. I want to see it. So anybody out there want to investigate that and find it, let me know how y'all looked it up and everything, because I'm going to be doing the same thing. So anybody's help out there is sure would be appreciated. But yeah, but that's one match I like to find. If it's actually out there, I like to find it just to watch it, because that's two big men. Um, I've seen him in the ring with other big guys. I mean, what would be very cool to see, in my opinion, would be, and well, in my opinion, he could take him. I would love to see a match between Sid, don't matter if he's called Sid Justice or Lord Humongous or Psycho Sid or what. I'd like to see him get in the ring with Brock Lesnar, power bombing, and make him go through the mat like they used to say. He's going to put him threat through the mat. They're going to have to reinforce the ring to hold him. Because I mean, from what I've seen on TV, he could do. I mean, when he power bombs, he power bombs. Oh, and I would like to see him and Braun Strowman team up one time against somebody else, which that'd be very cool, because that'd be another two big guys. But Sid, he was, when I like I said, when I met him, he was very cool. I was scared to death when I first seen him, because I knew somebody finna get hurt. But Sid Justice. Oh, before I let you go, now this is what's so cool about this particular figure I got of him. The arms still work. Some of my Hasbro figures, the the arms and stuff like this don't work this good. This thing feel like it's still brand spanking new. The springs are still very tight. It's like it's never really. And I played with this thing. You know, body slamming everybody, other wrestling figures with it and everything. I mean, I really played with it, but as you can see, it's still in. You can still hear it. That was the thing I just noticed about it a while ago. Is I thought, man, that thing still got a good spring system in it. My Hulk Hogan, that body slam like that, he don't even work no more. You can just pull his arms back and forth and nothing. Uh, the Macho Man, he kind of works a little bit, but not that good. Most of the ones I got, most of them don't even still really work that well, but he still does for some odd reason. Um, but anyway, but yes, Sid, if you look him up, you can go on WWE Network or YouTube, wherever how you want to, look him up and everything. Watch him. I mean, some of you newer fans out there that's maybe tuning in don't know who I'm talking about. Look him up, Psycho Sid or Sid Vicious, uh, or whatever. They'll pull up a lot of his matches. Maybe y'all like him and learn something new about him and everything. Which love Sid Vicious. I always thought he was cool. Him and the Undertaker and all that back in the '90s, can't beat it. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's even still doing pro wrestling. I don't think he shows up anywhere. I don't guess he does. I hadn't really heard. I do know. I almost forgot. I do know that I looked on there and I didn't know this, but he was a softball player, which would be very cool. I like to, at least see that too on video. Just, say I seen him play softball. And I knew he was an actor. I already knew he was an actor. I just didn't know he was in that many movies. Uh, but yeah, he was a very unique individual. He was a one of a kind. He was a true world champion. His look and everything. I wish I could meet him again. Meet him, 20 something, about 28 years later, or not quite that long, about 25 or 27 years later, meet him again. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say that. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see him again. This time, I'm gonna get his autograph. I should have done that then, but when you're surprised like that, you don't come prepared and all that. So anyway, that's what my wife said. She said I should have got his autographed and all that, and I just didn't do it. I regret it every day now. But anyway, I got to help him put his numbers on his dogs and everything, and he was very very nice. So I mean, I was really surprised. He was nothing like his character. I thought he would be a vicious individual, but he wasn't. But anyway, before I try to wrap this video up, uh, y'all stay tuned. I'm going to try to do this. I was going to try to do this videos every Friday, but I'm going to try to do them if it's not every Friday, it'll be uh, not the first Friday, but the next Friday. And try to do it like that and everything. So y'all just keep it up, looking me up and everything, because I will put out new videos. Just you have to bear with me, because I don't know. I just I don't get around that quick on videos and stuff right now. But anyway, hopefully I get back into the rhythm and do it every Friday like I need to do it. But anyway, when y'all are in the area, look out for SWA in Mississippi, along with Battle Zone Championship Wrestling, BIW Wrestling, and SWA. Uh, Keep watching my good friend Ultimo Gallows Wrestling Wrap Up and the King of the Wrestling Broadcast too. Watch out for that. And he's supposed to be doing one with Tito Santana, an interview with him. So I need to try to find out how to get a hold of that so I can watch that. But yeah, y'all keep it up, and anybody's got any questions or want to say anything to me just message me on this down below, and I'll get to it and everything. If y'all have any advice or anything, just feel free. And I hope everybody out there enjoyed this video, because I enjoyed doing it. And see y'all next time. And I want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. Thank y'all.